for Southwest Miramichi Bay Devin. Order, member.
Mr. Speaker, in Miramichi, for the last 30 years, paving the Route 108 Renews Plaster Rock Highway has been a concern for Miramichiers. It's at the core of the City Council. It's at the core of the Blackville and Doketown and Boys Town councils. It's at the core of all the people to build the tourism industry and at the same time create a shorter route to Maine and to the north. Over the years, we've seen less winter maintenance, chip seal as opposed to asphalt. My question is for the Minister of DTI. My question is, will you be looking at that highway over your tenure as Minister of the Department? Thank you.
The Honourable the Premier.
Mr. Speaker, the Minister of DTI certainly will want to get up and discuss this with the member opposite from the Miramichi. But however, if he's going to talk about the Miramichi, I'd like the member opposite, while he's on his feet, to denounce the comments in which his colleague made about the nursing home that will be built for the seniors of the Miramichi and the region. To have the member opposite call it a warehouse was completely unacceptable. The member opposite from the Miramichi knows that, and I ask him to get on his feet today, for the record, here in the legislature, to denounce the warehouse comment by his colleague.
Member for Southwest Miramichi Bay Devin.
Mr. Speaker, I find it to be preposterous that the Minister of DTI is refusing to get on his feet. Do you know, if they were getting the pipeline done like they were supposed to instead of pandering, you could run a spur line from Grand Falls to Beldoon, build a brand new oil refinery in Beldoon, and create 10 to 15 years of construction paving that untarnished highway that we need in Miramichi. So I ask today, does the government and does the Minister of DTI and Transportation understand the higher principles and the higher importance of this highway, and will he get on his feet and answer the question?
The Honourable Premier.
Well, Mr. Speaker, the Minister of DTI will certainly take the third question to get into the specifics, but I can't help but get up. I love how the Energy's pipeline, with some random thought of the member of the opposition, will have some segue going to somewhere else in the province, Mr. Speaker, and that will make it that we'll be able to invest in roads and infrastructure. I cannot even fathom how the member opposite is making these connections. However, I would like the member opposite who wants to talk about the Miramichi to address the real issue that we have heard in this legislature over the last few days about the Miramichi, and that's the member from Moncton that sits right behind the member opposite who called the nursing home that will help the quality of life of seniors on the Miramichi and in the region a warehouse. It was unacceptable as a comment. It should not have been made. The member opposite should apologize, and I would at least think that the member from Miramichi would denounce those comments here on the floor right now.
Member for Southwest Miramichi Bay Devin.
Mr. Speaker, it's called vision, and it's called ideas, and it's something that they're short on across the way. I'm going to tell you, Mr. Speaker, you could have a new oil refinery in Beldoon. They have the deepest port. We invest in that. You could run a spur line from Grand Falls straight to Beldoon, create 10 to 15 years of construction on the Route 108 highway, and create another 15 years construction building a brand new oil refinery for countries like Italy that can't accept crude oil. There are countries that need finished product. We have the capability in New Brunswick. So I'll say today, will the Minister of Transportation get on his feet and join me and support this project and prove that this is the department Miramichiers have always wanted? Will he do his job for our region?
The Honourable Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Mr. Speaker, we still haven't heard from the member opposite on his comments about the warehouse situation. I find it rather ironic that the 4 years he was in government, Route 108 wasn't even talked about. There was $0 spent on Route 108 the 4 years the member opposite was in government. I remember the 4 years that I was in government under the Liberal government from 2006 to 2010, millions of dollars was put on that highway, the Renews Plaster Rock Highway, Mr. Speaker. So why all of a sudden is it a priority for the member now? The member should be getting up and saying thank you to the members and the ministers from Miramichi for the 240-bed state-of-the-art nursing home for the Miramichi, the $62.3 million that's been invested in education and in new schools in the Miramichi, the 96-bed special care and 3B home that will soon be starting in Miramichi, and the countless other projects that I don't have time to list here today, Mr. Speaker. The member should be ashamed of himself for getting up to criticize two ministers, and a community that has made so much progress in the last 4 years.